Another Tuesday night. This is the W before a double header in the lead up to Christmas. It is Townsville and Sydney and Canberra making the trip to Perth tonight. My name is Joel Peterson, and yes, I know what you're thinking, but no, this is the same set as last week, and that's the only thing that's changed tonight. I'm alongside Rachel, Jerry and Michelle. Timms, which of us didn't get the memo? Was it me or was it the both of you?
I wish I had. I would have worn my Santa hat.
It's the festive season though, Rach, and it's nice little... It's almost like unwrapping an early present tonight with our doubleheader.
Oh, absolutely. Two big games to finish off this round. And, you know, there's a few teams, I think, on Santa's nice list, but maybe a couple on his naughty list as well.
I like that. That's a nice little way into things. We start this show with our takeaways every week. Timsy, I'm going to fling the ball to you to get us going.
Well, my biggest takeaway, I did not know there was a Jumbotron at, if that's how you pronounce it, at the AIS Arena. But watching this game, I couldn't work out why players kept looking up at the camera. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, it was not just Jade. So whoever did the editing did me wrong. It was all the players. They kept having a glimpse up at the big screen. But I didn't know there was one there. It looks like she's looking at us at home.
Oh, Timsy, don't tell me you've never sat down and watched Michelle Timms highlights, please.
Well, only on my computer.
Join the club.
Yeah, exactly right.
We've all been there. We've all been there. The best one was when she hit the free throw at the end, and just a little slow-mo glance up to the screen. Jade is... well, I reckon that performance worth watching. I would have watched it again if I was her as well. Rach, your takeaway?
Yeah, well, mine is that, top spot this season is more important than ever. We'll look at the ladder and you see that the top three teams, we know who they are, Bendigo, Townsville and Perth. They're far and away above. They're beating all challengers at the moment and having total domination. So when you look forward to the finals, finishing on top spot and avoiding that 2 versus 3 series is going to be so important. So the head-to-head for those three teams is still up for grabs, so it's something to look forward to over the next few rounds. And you just think of the travel as well. You want to avoid going to Townsville, Perth and then Bendigo, the 3 furthest teams that we have in our league. So very important this season. They're
all challenging in their own little way, each of those 3 teams. My takeaway is our breakout player of the year, of course, here in the WNBL last year, it was Abby Ellis. This year, could it be a 31-year-old? Could it be Alex Chibatoni, who is putting up career numbers? She is having an immense season. She's won Perth a couple of games. She won a couple in Adelaide. She had a career best 32 against the Lightning on Sunday. And as a young mother returning to basketball in the last little while, what she has put together has been absolutely extraordinary. And the numbers do it justice. So last year, her season last year was almost right in line with her career averages. And this year it is far and away better than that. So her season averages for last year are really similar to her career averages. This year, she is a different player. It is extraordinary what she is doing for this team, and she's gone from being underrated to now being one of the absolute key cogs in this Perth machine that is whirring once more. So who knows? I know it's a young person's award, so to speak, but we could have a 31-year-old breakout player of the year, couldn't we?
Absolutely. Why not?
Let's make up our own rules. It's Christmas. Let's 100%. Make up our own rules.
She's playing that well. She absolutely deserves the accolades, and so glad you brought her up because I think she has been underrated this season and absolutely dominating.
Let's take a look at what's happened so far in this round of WNBL basketball. Here are the results. The Bendigo Spirit started with a win over the Adelaide Lightning. Of course, our matchup tonight, Sydney and Townsville, they played on Saturday. Canberra and Geelong, Southside Melbourne, were beaten by Bendigo, and then the Perth Lynx really got going in that last game of the round so far against the Adelaide Lightning. Canberra and Geelong, though, we called the Geelong game last week where they came out really, really flat against Southside, and this looked like a different team on Saturday, Timsy.
Well, it certainly did. After their last performance against Southside, Timsy was off the Geelong train. I had stopped on the platform. I said, let me off. 4 days later, oh my goodness, I was so happy for them, the way they came out and pushed Canberra, had their opportunity to win the game. But boy, there was so many good things about this game, and the biggest thing I really loved was Jade Melbourne. And I'm not just trying to get back in her good books. She was absolutely fantastic and playing like we expect to see her play. So hopefully for Canberra, this is the start for her.
Some of the no-look passes were absolutely beautiful on Saturday from Jade Melbourne, and we mentioned that performance from the Perth Lynx. They were the other real talking point out of the weekend. 109 points. Hanshu didn't get into double figures. They had plenty of others who did, Rach. This was the Perth Lynx of old.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, you know, a little bit scary for the league watching that. They were just, you know, all in their bag, and you know, like you said, Hanshu was a little bit quiet, but I think that just goes to show her impact. You know, Adelaide had to be worried about what she can do, and everyone else was able to get off the chain, and absolutely led by Chibatoni, and Annalie Maley was, you know, doing Annalie Maley things on triple-double watch and totally dominating in the paint. So very impressive, and can't wait to see their game tonight.
Yeah, they are a scary prospect, this Perth Lynx team, when they're up and running. They've struggled out of the season. They couldn't make a three, and now all of a sudden they can hardly miss one, and they look a really imposing prospect. The Annalie Maley chat gives us a nice little segue into the Opal squad that was announced over the weekend as well. This dropped on Saturday, so plenty of WNBL players in this list, and there you see all kinds of names. Izzy Borlace, of course, who is in there. 4 players from the Fire, 3 from the Capitals, 3 from the Flyers, a couple from the Lynx, Izzy Borlace and Steph Talbot from the Lightning, and some of our international stars as well. That is a very, very good-looking team, Rachel Jarry.
Oh, a very, very strong squad. Just, you know, absolutely reward for some of those players' form at the moment, and I can't wait to see, you know, how Sandy is going to trim that down to a team that's actually going to play. But you mentioned Annalie. She's probably one that is a little bit of a surprise to be missing in that squad. She's been so great this season, and, you know, Timsy, we were talking, we just love the things that she does. She's, you know, our kind of player, isn't she?
Yeah,
just
100%.
Those 1%ers getting on the rebounds, and, you know, a tough break for her, but she's been so great this season.
I think the other one who was unfortunate too was Lockridge.
Yep.
You know, she's having a fantastic season, and I thought she was a little unlucky to not get in the squad. And then, you know, we could also, what's happening with Beck Allen? You know, maybe she had commitments, but another one. But an absolutely fantastic squad. I was super happy with reading that list.
Yeah, it's a tough squad to break into. Clearly, Ryan Petrick was really strong after his post-game on Sunday as well. The Perth Lynx coach saying not really sure what Annalie Maley has to do if she's not in the best 19 players in the country at the moment. It is an imposing list, and yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise out of that Opals team, as well as Dallas Lockridge. They, of course, for a training camp in Turkey later in March, so who knows? There's always things that change. There's always opportunities that open, and no doubt we haven't seen the last of Annalie Maley, and we haven't seen the last of Dallas Rockledge in green and gold colours, that is for sure. Plenty more to come here on the W ahead of our Tuesday doubleheader. Stick around. This is our Happy Holidays edition of the W, building up to a Tuesday night doubleheader. We start in Townsville, the late game in Perth, so plenty of WNBL basketball coming your way this evening. Joel Peterson, Rachel Jarry and Michelle Timms with you here on the W, your team for our first game this evening. It is time to look at our rolling team of the year, where we assess how things are shaping up in terms of the players who are starring this season. Rachel Jarry, who have you got for us?
Well, we mentioned her in the first segment, but Alex Chibatoni is in there, and Timsy's coughing over there because she doesn't think I have a true point guard in there. But I think Chibatoni, Borlace and Woods are more than capable of handing a point guard position. But I mean, Chibatoni does it at both ends of the floor, and super impressed with her. So I had to get her in there. I'm holding on the rest, but I'm going to need Mackenzie Holmes and Hanshu to have big games coming up, because I think Annalie Maley and Kelsey Griffin are sort of knocking on that door of trying to get into that team. So I'm holding for the rest, but yeah, impressed with Chibatoni. She's in there.
Yeah, she's having a great season, is Alex Chibatoni, no doubt about that. And as we spoke about last year, the likes of, or last week's Tina Rakuso just floating on the perimeter of this team. There's plenty of contenders. Timsy, what about your thinking around this? Could you sneak Jade Melbourne in there potentially as a point guard?
No, not just yet. She's going to do more than one brilliant game. Well, that was special though. She was amazing. If she continues like this, she might be bumping someone out, but not my starting point guard, Abby Ellis.
What are you liking about Abby Ellis this season?
Oh, just everything she's doing. She's facilitates, her IQ of the game, gets in and penetrates and breaks the game open for the perimeter. And just defensively, I just love that she gets up full court and she can really, you know, dog players. So I'm loving what she does. I love what she can do on the on-ball, both offensively and defensively. But I'm on hold. I'm holding right here and I challenge you both because that, to me, is a darn good team.
And
if I do say so myself.
And you've got an all-Perth front line there, so Annalie Maley doing enough for you to get into that team alongside Han Shu?
Absolutely. In fact, Han Shu better lift her game. I wasn't happy with her 9 and 7 on the weekend. So, Han Shu, you lift your game, girl. You need to be going. You are nearly 7 foot. She needs to be getting a double-double every game.
And non-negotiable for you, Timsy. Got to have a point guard in. So you're not subscribing to mine and Rachel's theory. And I know there's someone else who took me to task on this the other day. Good evening, Laurie Chiswick. That you need a true point guard. We can't do this thing by committee.
We cannot. We cannot. We're going true point guard, and we're going a 5-man who has a double-double by the end of the season. I'm not budging on that one either.
All right, there's plenty of rebounds in your front court though, so even if Han Shu's not necessarily getting a double-double, there is a lot of rebounding there with Annalie Maley in that team. So our rolling team of the week, we'll revisit that every week as we go throughout the season. There's plenty of debate being created about that all throughout the season. Another thing we like to keep an eye on and who's doing good things off the court with our personality of the year. We do have a runaway leader at this stage, but there are plenty that are making waves in the socials world here in the WNBL. I want to start up north. I'm a dog person. Courtney Woods is a dog person. So much so that her dog has even come to training. So here's Courtney Woods, her new little sausage dog, trying to, say goodbye. It's always hard to leave your dogs at home.
Look.
Well, she doesn't. She takes it to the court. The best part here is, Timsy, just wait a second. And here he is on the scorer's bench.
Barking instructions.
Now, yes, exactly. The real question is, will he be there tonight? Is he going to be on the scorer's bench tonight? I'm sort of hoping not for the safety of the venue. It'll be an interesting delay to the game if all of a sudden Courtney Woods' dog starts running on. We've seen it. We've seen it with children. We've seen it with children in NBL 1 a couple of years ago, where someone's child ran onto the court a couple of years ago. So who knows? That could be just something to watch out for tonight here. Courtney Woods' dog picks her up the 2 votes. We talked about Han Shu and the amount of fans that she's bringing to every game in the league so far. She's going to pick up the 2 votes and her legions of fans as well for the little presentation here. And how many pandas do you reckon Han Shu's got at home, Rach? I'd say more than one.
Yeah, I think more than one's a safe bet. I reckon she's got quite a few, but isn't she just so great? She's always engaging with the fans after the game, and she's just brought a new, fan base to our league. The crowd attendance at her game has gone right up, and she's just been absolutely brilliant.
So if we talk draw cards to this competition, Han Shu is one, right? In international basketball, she is as big a star as we've got, just about. What about someone like Caitlin Clark? Like, what would it take? What would it take to get someone that is right at the top of world basketball into this competition? It's not like the WNBL hasn't been here before, potentially with domestic players and international ones at different times. Could you see a world where someone like a Caitlin Clark lands in our competition?
Well, I think you might need some deep pockets.
Pockets.
I'm willing to chip in.
Well, me too, actually. I would love to see it. But, it is, Han Shu being in this league, I think it should give, owners and clubs a little bit more freedom to be creative. Yeah. Getting a superstar Chinese player into our league is not something that would have been easy to do, and for them to get her here is a huge credit to Perth. But I think it should inspire the rest of the league to, go out and try and recruit the impossible. Who's
your number 1 draft pick for someone you'd love to see in the WNBL, Timsy?
Well, Caitlin Clark, without a doubt. Definitely Caitlin Clark, but I just can't see that happening. But it'd be fantastic. But someone, I'd pull Diana Taurasi out of retirement.
Yep,
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I think that'd go down pretty well. We'll chuck the hat around, we'll chip in, and we'll see what we can scrounge together to try and get some more superstar power. I think it's going to happen at some point in time. That is no doubt about that. Our 3 votes this week, it doesn't go to Sarah Blitzarves, who's been on a little bit of a tear. We're going to head down the Princess Freeway to Geelong, where Mackenzie Holmes, of course, a new import in our competition this season, has been learning about doing things the Aussie way.
We're here with Mac, and we're going to do some Aussie slang. So the first one we have is an easy one. Macca's. Can you repeat the word? Macca's. Macaroni. McDonald's. That's like a short movie. Yeah.
Snag.
Like a rip.
It's something you eat.
Shrimp on the barbie.
A mozzie.
Mozzie, that is a car. Carrying on like a pork chop. That's really good. That means I'm just going about my day, doing my thing. Good day, mate. Just gonna carry on like a pork chop.
Nice work from Mackenzie. I'm not sure she's quite got there with it. I just get the feeling she may not have quite picked up the lingo, but, you know, it's a process, Rach, these kind of things. You've got to get your imports integrated into things. Did you have something you'd go to with import teammates back in the day to try and get them a sense of where they were?
Oh, look, not really. I didn't actually play with too many imports here, but I remember when I went to America to play, one of my teammates was actually, she knew I was Australian. She was very surprised at how good my English was.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that was like once when I went over there, somebody asked me how I got there. You know, what was it? They didn't realise that I had to fly. It was like ridiculous. But the big thing, what about the Tim Tams? The American, you know, they always ask about the Tim Tams and the Vegemite, even though they can't pronounce Vegemite. But yeah.
I remember having a bit of an Australian party, and I put on some AFL, cooked them some sausage rolls. I had a...
sausage rolls?
Yeah,
dang.
sausage rolls.
I thought you were going to say just...
Or snag rolls if you're Mackenzie home.
A roast and
wow.
Lamingtons, Tim Tams, and yeah, I was everyone's favourite that day.
Fair enough. I'm expecting that this week, or next week, to be honest, Rach, on this show. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Sarah Blitzards is our runaway winner. Isa Brancatisano right at the top. The runaway winner, I should say, but who knows? She might be our runaway winner at the end of the year. But there's plenty that are just chopping into that lead, and Courtney Woods is right there with her as well. So great to see so many of our players having fun on social media. They're all worth a follow. You can get in touch with all of our clubs on socials as well. We continue to build up here to our double header tonight. Townsville and Sydney, Canberra and Perth. We'll speak to Shannon Seabohm on the other side of this.
This little bit of a tough patch with, you know, going to Townsville twice in a short amount of time, but I mean, the way I view it is exactly on the back of what Keely said, what we're doing during the week, and if we can keep the vibe high and everyone's working really hard, then generally the wins will come, and we've just got to keep faith that, yeah, we've put the work in, the rewards will come for sure.
I mean, Sydney played really hard. I think at the start, like, they were switching a lot of screens and things, and we just didn't do a great job of punishing that. I think it sort of bogged us down and slowed us down, and that's kind of obviously why they probably did it, but we didn't, we don't want to play that way.
This is the W. We are building up to a Tuesday night doubleheader. Townsville and Sydney, Perth and Canberra. Joel Peterson, Rachel Jarry and Michelle Timms with you. Great to go inside the Townsville camp as they prepare for this game with their coach, Shannon Seabohm, who's been good enough to join us. Shannon, about 72 hours since you last faced Sydney. Same opponent. What does the build-up to this one look like coming off Saturday's game for your team?
Yeah, look, I think we're both getting sick of each other. We've played three tonight will be the third time in 4 games for both of us. So, look, we had a tough game the other night down in Sydney, and I think we just did enough in the third quarter to kind of be able to create that separation and get a gap between us and them and finish the game off. But I think both teams are going to be pretty hungry to come out and, put on a good show tonight and get a win before Christmas.
Mila Soa, of course, a new recruit to your team this season. She played all 40 minutes on Saturday, another 20-point game. She looks like she's fit in seamlessly. What have you made of her coming into your squad this year?
Yeah, look, I mean, she played the 40 minutes the other night. Probably wasn't planned on that, but she's been fantastic. I think, we obviously last year had a really good group, and we were probably lacking that player that's a bit different, and that has the ability to get hot quick and put some points on the board. And, I think Mila does a great job of that, and she's fit in seamlessly since day one with us, where, we kind of give her a little bit of license to take, the shots that she's good at and the shots she feels like she can make. And, we love having her here.
Shannon, it's Timsy. More a meaning of life question than X's and O's, mate. It's not often I get to speak to such a legend coach like yourself. Tell me, no matter what happens, whatever team you coach, whether you have to bring in a new team or whether one of your stars is injured for a few weeks, your team always plays selfless hoop, and it's so pretty to watch, and they seem so connected. So my question, is it the player or is it the culture that you drive that makes this beautiful basketball that we watch?
I think it's a combination. I think, you know, we obviously have a style of play up here that some other people make fun of and say we're so much about the system and all those things, but you know, the players have a lot of flexibility and freedom within that to make reads and make decisions. And you know, I think we try and bring in really good people that we think are going to fit into not just how we play on the court, but also what we want to do off the court. And I think when you get good people like that, it's really easy to separate maybe your immediate individual goals and trust that if you come in here and work hard and sort of show that you can be a team player and you can fit into the way we want to play, that, you know, you're going to achieve your goals individually, but also help the team, you know, to be able to go after the ultimate prize. And I think we've been around the mark the last few years, and obviously this year we've had a good start to the season, but, you know, there's a long way to go. But I think, you know, I think all the stuff we do every day at practice and how we talk and just driving that team style of basketball where we're willing to give up maybe a good shot to get a great shot for someone else, and always willing to make the extra pass and move the ball, and, you know, put defenses in a tough spot where, you know, we know if we do that enough, they're going to start to break down and we'll get the shots we want.
Shannon, Rachel here. You talked in your press conference that you weren't happy with how long it took your team to combat the switching defence of Sydney, but the counters of your team is 100% the best in the league. You guys are so good at quickly changing and punishing teams on their defensive end. How much time do you guys spend at training, and what kind of things are you doing to work on that?
Oh yeah, look, I mean, it's a big part of what we do, and I guess just like developing the player's ability to make reads on the fly. And, you know, I think we drill it a lot. We drill different pick and roll coverages and how we want to attack each one and what we need to be able to do. And we believe if we get those things right, that, you know, we have the ability to constantly generate the shots that we want and get teams off balance. And, you know, we'll see how we go tonight. We obviously haven't had much chance to practice since the game the other day. So we've watched some film, we've talked about some things, and, you know, going back over some of the principles that we want to play with. But hopefully, I mean, if they decide to switch again tonight, hopefully we do a little bit better job, but I guess we'll see.
Hey, Shannon, your focus is no doubt on tonight, but it is the 23rd of December and you're a young father. You've got 3 kids at home. So what does Christmas look like in your household?
Well, hopefully we get the win tonight so it can be a happy Christmas. But no, look, it's a lot of fun with the kids. Obviously, Christmas morning will be a lot of presents and a lot of wrapping paper all over the house and crazy stuff like that. And then my mum's up visiting, and my sister lives here in Townsville now as well. So we'll spend some time with the family in the afternoon. And yeah, obviously Christmas is a great time of year, and I'm very lucky to get to spend it with my family.
For your sake, hopefully it's Christmas with a W. Really appreciate your time so close to tip, Shannon. Go well tonight, and thanks.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Shannon Seaborn there, the Townsville Fire coach. Terrific to have him with us, of course. 5-time Coach of the Year here in the WNBL. What a performer he has been. These two teams did meet on Saturday, Timsy, and a couple of things caught your eye out of that matchup, particularly how Sydney started the game on the defensive end.
Yeah, Renee Gallup, you can really see her coaching strategy coming into play. Big difference to the way they were coached prior, and her switching defence has really caused, I think, a little bit of unsettling moments early in the game, which saw Sydney take that early lead. You know, they switched it from a switching zone, different ways to defend the on-ball, and it was really clever. But, you know, Townsville are Townsville. They're a great team, and you knew it was only going to be a matter of time before they found the formula and settled in.
And we talked, Timsy, pre-show, didn't we, that the way to probably beat Townsville is to have so many different defences to go to, because they are so good at countering what you do and seeing what defence you're in. So Sydney did that great job of changing defences, and Townsville weren't really sure what they were doing, but they were able to figure out. So doing it for 40 minutes is you know, the hard part of it all.
Yeah, they started off so well. It was only the couple of times this season Townsville have trailed a quarter time. They did on Saturday, but the challenge for Sydney, as Renee Gallup said in the aftermath, is just doing that for a little bit longer. Keely Froling and Unique Thompson were two that had really strong performances over the course of the weekend for the Flames. The bigs got it done and had some really strong numbers. Froling ends up fouling out, having 16 and 6, but Unique Thompson just continued, and I mean, she's been a great find for the Flames this year.
Oh, she certainly has, and just her story of how she's, you know, really forced her way into the WNBL with her play at the NBL 1 level, and it's pretty inspiring. And hearing her speak, she's very proud of what she's achieved, and she's been so great for them this year, just so steady and just a big presence on the board, which is something they've really needed.
So that's game number 1 of tonight. The late game is Perth and Canberra. That's coming your way, 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 6:30 if you are in the West. Timsy, the Caps got the win again the other night. Perth looked very, very good, as we spoke about a little bit earlier. Who do you think wins this one tonight?
Perth.
Rach?
Yeah, I'll have to go with Perth as well. Unfortunate that we heard the news that Sarah Blitzarves is out for this game. It just makes that task probably a little bit too tough for the Caps for me.
It's going to be a big assignment for them. Perth look like they're in great form. That's the late game tonight. Next, though, is Townsville and Sydney in Townsville. The rematch of these two teams, that is just around the corner.